Hi, it's Systematic for Live2U, and we're lucky enough to be at the Blues and Barbecue Festival at Port Macquarie. And we're pretty excited because I'm here with Frank Sultana, and we're going to have a bit of a chat, maybe a bit of a speed dating thing. So for people who don't know about your music, can you describe a little bit of what you do?
It's really raw, dirty blues. Yeah.
Dirty blues. What makes it dirty?
It's just really raw and primitive and yeah.
So where do you draw your inspiration from?
Mostly, sort of pre-World War II blues guys.
Yeah.
And yeah, right through till Rolling Stones and Chuck Berry, Little Richard, all the rest of it. But I listen to a lot of Son House and Robert Johnson and the early blues.
I love Robert Johnson, Howling Wolf. They're mine.
At the moment, I'm listening to a lot of Lightning. Yeah.
I play a little bit of blues myself, and C6D's my favourite at the moment.
It's great. Steve's great.
So we're going to get to know Frank a little bit. So I'm going to ask you, are you a breakfast in bed guy or breakfast at the table?
At the table.
If you're going to put a CD on in the car to go home, or an MP3 or whatever it is these days, what are you going to play?
That's a really good one. Right now, probably maybe some Frank Zappa or something.
Frank Zappa?
Yeah, I'm listening to a bit of that at the moment. Like always listen to him, but at the moment I've got Frank Zappa on in the car.
So tell me what's in the pipeline for you, Frank? What's happening with your music?
So I just finished like a 5-week run from Victoria up to Queensland and back to Sydney. And I recorded on the road, took some recording gear with me and did some writing and some recording on the road. And so I'm in the middle of mixing that at the moment, in between playing shows, and then that'll be the next release.
Awesome. And so if I want to download a copy of your stuff, where am I going to find it to buy? I've
got a couple of things up on like iTunes and Spotify and the rest of it. Most of it is still CDs at gigs.
Yep.
But that's also in the pipeline for the next few weeks, is just to get everything up on iTunes. And it's weird because I tend to find like different age groups want different things, so still sell CDs at gigs, which is great, but a lot of younger people, I think they just want to download music, so so I've got to have it all, I guess. So
we were having a really interesting conversation backstage a little earlier, and it turns out that I have a bit of a union background because I'm very vocal and opinionated and a person of the people, I guess. And I discovered that Frank has a bit of this background as well.
Yeah. So I spent, I look back on it now, I spent the last 5 years as a union official in Sydney, and then probably 15 years before that as a sort of senior delegate at a site that I worked at. So I've been involved in the union movement for 20 years, I guess. So what was the best life skill you think you got from being a unionist? Oh wow, that's a great question. Just being able to facilitate a conversation, I suppose, and being a keen negotiator. Yeah, negotiating is part, but getting people onto the same page, I suppose. Yeah. So does that transpose into your music as well? Good question too. I've never really thought about it, but I suppose it does. Yeah. And certainly, getting up in front of 400 members and talking makes getting up and playing really easy, and talking to people, it makes it really easy. And of course you lose that apprehension about public speaking and stuff like that, so I suppose it's helped in that way. And do you, when you write a song, are you thinking I'm gonna put something, a bit of a political message or anything, or do you just write? I don't really. I've probably, out of 50 songs I've put out in the last 5-6 years. 50 songs? Yeah. That's amazing. Probably one song that's political in nature, and the rest is just stories, like I kind of hear something or read something or come across something and then come across something else, and then when I'm feeling creative I kind of just mix it all together and make up stories. I don't sing or write from the first person, so to speak. Like, it tends to be stories. I'll make up characters. Like, for example, I sort of travelled around, like I said, for the last 5-6 weeks, and just kind of meeting people and getting a little bit of a vibe for their story. And then in the song, it may not be that person's story is associated to that person in the story, but I've just got names and stories floating in my head. So I could find myself in a Frank Sultana song. Something. Oh, but it won't be systematic. It's mostly storytelling. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, we've really enjoyed our time with you. Thank you so much for doing this. It's been unreal. And everyone has to look out for Frank Sultana. Check him out on iTunes. Find him on Spotify. Google search for
for him. He'll be there. And check out our interview on YouTube, which you're going to be doing because you're doing it anyway. That was a really stupid thing to say. Sometimes I just say random stuff.
Well, good, so do I. Sing random stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. So just freestyle. All right.
Cool. Thanks for having me. Cheers.
Thanks, guys. See ya.